Hey everybody, Craig Williams, Austin Silver Coins Pro. I'm going to give you a little more education on the silver business and those rascals, the Hunt boys that were trying to corner the market. If you'll remember the last video, we talked about, the rumors were flying in 1974 that the Hunts were trying to corner the silver market. And, who knows, they might have. I wouldn't doubt it. These guys are real wheeler dealers. You got to remember, the richest family in the United States, in the free world, they were competing with the Rockefellers on who could make the most money. And I tell you what, Bunker Hunt and Herbert Hunt and those boys, they were bound and determined to be on top. And they were convinced that silver was the way that they were going to be able to do it. Well, at that time, the silver, you could only, I think it was, the demand was 450 million ounces a year, but they could only produce about 245 million ounces a year. So, but the worst part about it, not even our government, no one in the whole world knew how much silver there was out there in private hands. No one knew. So, and another problem they had, that of the 700 million ounces that they knew that there was out there, that there was only about 200 million ounces available for delivery on futures contracts. So what were they going to do then? So Bunker devises a plan. I love this guy. I mean, he is not going to give up. He is going to try everything he can to make this deal go. Well, what he does, he shows up on the floor of the COMEX in New York and makes a statement as loud as he can. He says, "Almost anything is better than paper money. Any fool can run a printing press." Can't you just see him standing out there saying that? Well, guess what happened? After that, silver went down from $6 to $3 and stayed there after that statement he made. So, but they had plenty of other deals going. Herbert had bought half of, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of acres of land in North Dallas before Dallas had grown that way, and he was just making billions in the real estate, and Bunker was in the racehorse business, and he was doing just fine. Penrod Drilling was expanded all over the world, and they had Placid Oil Company. And you got to remember, the only reason these guys are going after silver because it's the only way they can make the kind of money they want to make. They're already making all the money possible that they can make in the oil business, which was, I'm sure the richest business in the world at the time. Private individual couldn't own gold. So these guys got it, that this was the way to go. Well, this was all in 74. Oh, by the way, in late 74, the old man, H.L. Hunt, who started this dynasty, passed away at the age of 85. So that gave them more, ways to work their deals. So, but anyway, in 75, Bunker is all fired up. He is ready to make this deal work. So what he does, he flies over to Tehran, sets up a meeting with the Iranian finance minister. Well, he's going to talk to the finance minister about getting one of the wealthiest families over there to go in partners with he and Herbert to purchase several million ounces of silver, so the price will go up, because silver was just staying between $3 and $4. Nobody was buying, nobody was selling. So he flies over there, and they didn't know much about Bunker, and the finance minister asked him one question, and he said, "Bunker, how much money did you make last year?" And he put his head down, and he didn't want to answer that question, and that hesitation cost him the deal. But, you know, Bunker's belief was always, you know, if someone knew how much they were worth, they weren't worth anything. And so, you know, that messed that deal up for him completely, that hesitation. He did finally tell him $50 million, but it was already too late. He hesitated, you know, and he did not believe in counting his money. He did, you know, and downplayed his income for tax purposes. So anyway, so that deal fell through. So immediately after that, he set up a meeting with the king of Saudi Arabia for April, so he could go over there and convince him to invest with he and Herbert in the silver, and buy several million ounces of silver to drive the price up. Because, you know, one thing about these rich people, all the rich people know the other rich people, so I'm sure it wasn't that hard for him to find, you know, these people to go present his proposition to. But anyway, he had the meeting set up for April, and the king's nephew assassinated him in March, right before he was to fly up there and present the deal. So, you know, that deal fell through then, but Bunker is not going to give up. He's not going to give up. They see it, they get it. They know what can happen. They've already seen it go from 3 to 6, double their money, and it's still hovering around 3 and 4. Okay, in the fall of '76, you know, they had acquired all of his father's companies, and they took control of another 20 million ounces through a company, a public company that they had control over called Great Western United. And it dealt in commodities, mainly in sugar and sugar futures. And what they were going to do is, you know, create a swap with the Philippines, 20 million ounces of silver for that much, for however what the price was on the silver, and they were going to get sugar for the silver. And then in turn, Saudi Arabia was going to swap oil for the silver. But the IMF came in and shot that deal down because they didn't recognize silver as a commodity, and Great Western United was a commodities trading company. So once again, Bunker felt thwarted by the Eastern establishment. I mean, he was livid, but there wasn't a whole lot he could do. But these guys have the drive. This is the kind of drive I have. You know, this deal is going to work. And I just want y'all to get it. What these wealthiest people in the world got it. You know, do you get it? If you don't, call me, Austin Silver Coins Pro. Take your silver every month, put it in your pocket. It's going to be worth a lot of money one day. Plus, we're going to make a lot of money while we're having fun collecting. So, don't forget, Austin Silver Coins Pro. I'm going to do another video soon about these hunt boys, my kind of guys, wheeler dealers. Anyway, Craig Williams, AustinSilverCoinsPro.com, 512-573-4926. Thanks for your time.